Live. All right. Happy Wow Wednesday day. Welcome, you ladies here in the Healthy Moms of Faith group. Excited to bring you a live interview today. This is part of our training this week. Periodically, I like to share some of the ladies who work with me and their success stories. I know that's always encouraging. So I have my special guest, Marina, here today. So she's going to introduce herself here in just a minute. Before we do that, I'm going to make sure we are live in the group for one, so everybody can see. And I'm going to make sure I can see comments. If you are watching live, say hello to us in the comments. If you're catching this live, say live. If it's a replay, of course, you're watching it later, put replay. But I'm always excited to be here. I'm really excited to share Marina's story because as you'll see, she's been able to move forward in her health journey, and that's always a win, and that's what we're looking for. We want to get healthier in spirit, soul, and body. So if you're watching this later on YouTube, also welcome to you ladies. If you're watching this over there, come over here and join us in the Healthy Moms of Faith group. It's just facebook.com/groups/Healthy Moms of Faith. Come join us. I've got a lot of resources to share with you here to encourage you. This is a community. We're trying to encourage each other to go down this healthy path, right, in our spirit, soul, and body. So come join us. And so, we're here today because if you ever felt stuck in your health journey, in your weight loss journey specifically too, we want this to be encouraging for you today. Marina's going to share some stuff about how she's been able to work through that. So if that's you today, put unstuck. You want to get unstuck, put unstuck in the comments, let me know. But welcome to you ladies here in this group, the Healthy Moms of Faith group. We're here and I want to provide you ladies with some value in this group. Every week I try to be here to help you with that so that we can thrive in life, right? Not just survive. I think we often forget that that's how God's designed us to live. We're supposed to thrive in life and not survive. So that's why we're here. I want you to understand how to build better habits that will become better foundations so that those become lifestyles, so that it becomes a transformation of your health. That's why I'm here and why we have this group. So let us know if that excites you. Tori says hello. She's live. Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and get going. Really quickly, Marina, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you're from, and you're a mom, so about your kiddo, of course.
Okay.
Share that with us.
My name is Marina Schenkel, and I live in North Carolina. I'm an English teacher at a high school, and I'm married to Daniel, and we have one little boy named Elijah, and he's 17 months old. I guess I would say my hobbies are I like to read. I used to like to swim before I had a baby. I don't have a lot of time for that now.
Right.
I like reading, writing, those sorts of things. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. And you said you're an English teacher?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I think I remember you said you've written a book too.
Yes. Yeah, I'm working on editing my novel that I finished last year. So it's a long process, but eventually, hopefully it'll be published.
Awesome. Yeah. That's so cool. Very cool. Well, awesome. Well, yeah, we're going to get into our questions.
Okay.
Get going. And, so before you and I started working together, where were you before we met? What was life like back then for you?
Well, I was definitely, when it comes to my health and particularly weight loss, I was definitely feeling stuck. I'd lost a little bit of weight before I got pregnant with my son. I had him when I was 34, so I was a little bit of an older mom. And then after I had him, I lost a little bit of weight, and then it was just like I plateaued. I had been stuck at the same weight for months. I was starting to feel like, I guess weight loss isn't possible for me. I'm always going to be overweight. And I was kind of settling into that mindset at that time. I tried some different things and they worked for a little while, but nothing really helped me permanently or on a long-term basis. So I felt really, really stuck. I was starting to kind of feel like this is just who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I'm just going to be this weight for the rest of my life. I'm never going to be able to change. And that's kind of where I was. So it wasn't the best place. Physically, I wasn't that healthy. And mentally, it wasn't a very healthy place either.
Gotcha. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and I know I talked to a lot of ladies in this group too. And so, if that's you and you're watching this later, just put stuck in the comments. Let me know, is this how you feel too? Because, Marina's been there as well. She really understands the struggle of the ups and downs of weight loss. And she really knows. So that's why we wanted to share her story today with you, because there is hope, and that's what we want to share with you today. So put stuck in the comments if that's you. So then my second question for you, Marina, is what changed when you and I began working together?
Well, one thing that really, I think, kickstarted things was the mindset. So in the lessons that you would send, there was always some kind of spiritual mindset that started first before we even talked about things like what I eat or, my exercise. So some of the mindsets were things like, the one that stands out to me is that God has a purpose for us. He has a calling for us. He made each of us, unique because he has, things for us to do. And I think that got me thinking about my motivation for being healthy and for losing weight, that it wasn't just that I want to look better or even that I want to feel better, but that if God has something for me to do, I need to be in the best shape so I can do it. So I don't feel like I'm limited by my physical capacity. So that was definitely one thing that changed for me, was the way I looked at my physical health, not just that I'm going to look better, I'm going to fit a smaller size of clothes, but I'm going to be in better shape to do what God wants me to do to take care of my family. And I think that motivation really changed things. And then as I worked with that mindset, I found things that actually worked for me. So I learned to be more patient with myself, that I was going to have to experiment, to try some different things. And then all of a sudden it was like, this is possible. I'm losing weight. I'm losing inches. It's happening. Maybe it's happening slowly, but it is happening. And it kind of sped up it a couple of times too. And I remember stepping on the scale a few times and going, whoa, I can't believe I haven't seen that number in years. Like last week, I kind of hit a milestone of a weight I haven't been since like the first year of my marriage. So that was really, really cool. It's possible. That I think that has given me confidence. So that was something that definitely changed. I think that because working with you is so personalized, I was able to try some different things that worked for me that maybe in the past I'd tried diet programs and things that worked for other people, but I found this time stuff that worked for me. So seeing that it was possible just really gave me the motivation to keep going. Even if I had an off day or a bad day, or I didn't lose weight this one week, I still was like, but it's possible. This is something that can be done. I'm going to find a way. So I had just a huge, like, I guess you call it a paradigm shift. Like my whole mindset about health and weight loss changed. So it was very encouraging.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, two words stand out there for me is purpose. You found your purpose
Yes.
in the weight loss journey and the reasons behind why. And then you also started to see, as you understood that it was possible, that the pursuing the motivation helped you pursue and gain results.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome. Yeah. And I've loved working with you and seeing that shift in your brain. I think we forget that, because sometimes we're just doing life or teaching or whatever our career is, or being a mom, and we forget, okay, well, all of these things are a part of our purpose. And I think we lose sight of that. So I love that you share that. That's really cool. Yeah. And just to see that shift of the reason why you're doing it, that motivation. And you started to pursue things. And yeah, we've had some trial and error, and you will continue to have some trial and error, like we've talked about in the group, but you found your purpose. And so I think that's important. So yeah, if you're watching this and you would love to experience this as well, I think that's why this whole spiritual piece of getting healthier is so important. Even in my own life, as I've seen myself go through my health journey, but understanding that there's a reason behind what we're doing, and it's not just for the physical changes, right? So if that's you, where you're kind of struggling with understanding the purpose that you have in life, no matter what that is, or the motivation behind getting healthier, why you should, just put purpose. in the comments. And just know that it is possible for you as well, just like Marina experienced. So that's really awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. So then you shared a little bit about, some of those wins and things that have been happening. My next question would be, what is your life like now? What has changed for you?
Well, I'm much more confident in myself as far as my physical ability goes. It's really nice. The other day, my husband and I were walking up a hill. We've walked up before, and I was like, listen, stop for a minute and listen. And he was like, what? I said, do you not hear me? I'm not gasping for breath. So that was kind of nice because I've lost enough weight where, I'm getting used to working out almost every day. So I'm more confident in myself physically, I think. For sure, and in my ability to lose weight. Like for the holidays coming up, it used to be I'd dread it, be like, oh no, I'm going to gain 2 or 3 pounds over Thanksgiving or Christmas. I didn't do that this Thanksgiving or this Christmas. I was so excited. I maintained my weight, and I didn't feel like I deprived myself. But I had some smart tactics that I've learned that I was able to not dread the holidays. I just enjoyed myself, and I was like, this is great, and I have things I can do to make sure that I maintain. So I feel like I'm healthier physically for sure, and also spiritually because of the things that I read and some of the lessons, the spiritual part of it. I feel like I'm closer to God because of this, and that this is a way that He's kind of teaching me and showing me, if you are doing things where you're motivated to do them for me, you're not going to do it alone. I'm in this fight with you, so I feel like I'm closer to God because of this too. So
That's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. And I think as believers, that is our ultimate goal too, right? And realizing that He is with us. I think sometimes we think that we're responsible for certain parts of our life and He's not, but
yes,
it should be. He's in the details of life. And so He cares about our health, and He created us a specific way. And I think when we dig into that, spiritually, it's really cool how He can give us that strength in those moments of weakness. So yeah, and all for His glory, all for, being encouraging for other people too. So I love that. Thanks for sharing. So then my last question for you would be, what advice would you give someone who was in the same position you were in about 12 weeks ago before we started working together?
I would definitely say find your purpose, find your motivation, keep that in your mind every once in a while, go back and reflect on it, write it down somewhere, have your list of your goals, and stick with those things. Keep a worthy goal at the back of your mind, and then be patient with yourself, be patient with the process. You're going to have some trial and error. You're going to have to find what specifically works for you, but stick with it. Hang in there. Think about how you're doing this for yourself. You're doing this for God. You're doing it for your family. Keep those things in mind, and that'll help you push through when you get to those moments where you're like, oh no, I'm getting stuck again, because you don't ever have to be stuck again. So it's very encouraging to think about that. So keep those goals in mind and be patient. I think that's something that God is working on with me, is my patience. But it's improved through this process where I see, sometimes you have to wait, but you're going to see results. And if you're within God's will, if you're trying to do the right thing, you're going to see those results.
I love that. Very cool. Yeah. And definitely, me specifically too, I've seen working with so many different people, different types of bodies and all sorts of things that, it is, even as your coach, I get to a point where I'm like, I want them to see results, but, teaching the baby steps and continuing to encourage you guys in that, it helps too, but I have to be patient too, because I want to see you guys, successful. And so, but I love that you have to be patient with yourself. So, again, if you're watching this and this is you, and you kind of struggle with this, you've had the ups and downs and you're tired of being stuck, just remember you need to be patient with yourself. So put patient in the comments if that's you, if you're like, yeah, I need to work on that. I need to continue to move forward, but I need to be patient with myself. So well, is there anything else you wanted to share with the ladies?
I can't really think of anything. Just hang in there. This is possible. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you sharing your story with us. Thank you for your time. And yeah, that's pretty much all we had for you ladies today. I wanted to give you a heads up that next week I'm going to share a little bit about my wean to lean strategy, and that a lot of the ladies that work with me, they get to do this, learn this as one of those, what do you call it, tools or tricks or something like that, that you have in your tool belt now. And so we're doing our 21-day program and focusing on this strategy, and that's going to start in a week. I just put up another post today. So that's a short program, but we're going to focus really on this wean to lean strategy. So next week, which will be the deadline for the 21-day program, I'm going to share all about this, all about how the strategy works and why it works and all of that. So I'm excited to share that with you ladies next week. So, but if you're someone, you watch this and you relate to Marina's story, please let us know in the comments. You're not alone. Reach out if you have any questions on how to get unstuck, because it is possible, just like Marina said. Reach out, because I love to chat with you. Even if coaching isn't an option, I just want to always get people going in the right direction to get unstuck, because it is possible. So, well, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much, Marina. I will see you.
You're welcome.
We check in tomorrow. So I'll see you.
Yes.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
You're
ladies.
welcome. Bye.